The Magic Mike Show, where you hear the experts speak. The Magic Mike Show. Tune into the show every week. The Magic Mike Show. You can trust the show is the bomb because it's being brought to you by RacingDudes.com.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Magic Mike Show. Man, it's just seeing Magic on there just makes me sad sometimes.
I know. Our boy missing in action. I did talk to him. It was nice. Talked to him on the phone last week, so it was good to chat with him. Everything going well in the life of Magic.
Oh, yes, he's doing great. I think he'll be back soon. I think he's secretly starting to miss it. I don't know about you, but he's talking about horse racing just a little bit more each time I talk to him now. So.
Well, I mean, he's also in the process of trying to celebrate, our second championship here in the fantasy league. We've got journalism has to beat sovereignty in the race. If that happens, we are champions yet again. 2 of the last 3 years. The first 2-time champions is expanding to 10 teams. So, I think he's puffing his chest out a little bit.
I like it. All right. Well, listen, we're going to find out if you think that's going to happen for real when we talk about the Belmont today. I won't give any spoilers about that. It's going to be a good show. We're going to go over races 9 through 13. It is the pick 5 that ends in the Belmont Stakes. A lot of pick 5s on this card. I was going to ask you because, Derby, Preakness, Belmont Day, all the big days, there's so many pick 5s. Do you have a strategy for how many you're going to play during those big days like that?
Sometimes it depends on the card, really. Like a lot of times it's all about, okay, do you like a specific sequence from a price perspective? And Michael Olson comes in and says under $300 for this pick 5. Like if you, sorry, that's a little Saratoga in the background because we got a little sweat going on right now too. So I'm only going to be paying half attention during the races. We had the $60 winner in the 4th. So we're trying to string a couple more together here to get some nice prices home. But yeah, it was, look, if you think it's going to pay under $300, you got to play it completely differently than if you think you can get some prices home here. A lot of it depends on who you like in the Belmont. If you're going with a price, if you like Zulu Kingdom a lot, he's going to be a short price in this sequence. If you like the horse like Think Big in the Sprint and the Jaipur, like that's another horse that's going to be a shorter price in the sequence. So depending on how you like the sequences will really adjust how I'm going to change around how I play some of these tickets and how much I play on specific pick 5s during the day. I love pressing tickets. We've talked a lot about that on the show. I'll play $5 pick 5s, things like that. Like if I think it's under $300, I'm playing a $5 pick 5 and I'm moving along, right? I'm not trying to get overly creative here. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, and then the big days, I'm looking for races I like, for prices I like, and then building around those and the sequences I play for more money than just firing blindly into everything. Now, I'll play everyone for 50 cents. It's just then after that, the denominations change quite a bit. And the amount that I'm willing to play a ticket size, right, changes quite a bit. So, I'm not playing $200, $300 pick 5s into sequences that I think could chalk out.
Yep. No, I get it. Yeah, that makes total sense. Just so much on the betting menus these big days. You do kind of have to, kind of pace yourself, kind of have to spread it out, kind of have to think about it a little bit more than just, hey, there's 2 pick 5s today. Let's fire at them. It is a little bit different for sure. All right. Let's not waste any time. I think people want to hear our thoughts on this sequence. It's going to be a great day of racing. Go ahead.
I want to do one thing first. Christopher Potts. What horse are you two going to walk into the winner's circle like you did last week with Mystic Dan? First off, I'm like, if I'm going to lose a race, I want to lose it in the way that Mystic Dan won that race because I can't wait to bet against him next time. He was absolutely gifted that race with the trip, and Aquarian was probably the best horse. The 3 horse who went off at 9-1, 15-1 morning line. We both had him, and he blew the turn, or else Mystic Dan doesn't get this rail trip and doesn't win the race. And so we'll find out which one we're going to talk into the winner's circle because I don't know who Aaron doesn't like, who I don't like of the favorites in these races, but I'm okay with Mystic Dan winning a race like that because it means I get to bet against him again next time, Aaron.
That was the funniest thing. I swear to God, I was sitting by myself watching the race, and I just died laughing out loud. when that opened up, I thought, well, I've seen this movie before, So it's just...
I almost asked you to do a Monday recap show just to talk about those races because it was so wild, and the Mystic Dan trip was just crazy and reminiscent of the Derby again. And it's just like... Also, more room than the Derby, obviously. Better ride, I thought, in the Derby because he just squeezed through. But, man, have you ever seen a horse gifted 3 races in the way that Mystic Dan has been gifted them?
No. No, I haven't. You give him credit. He had to go get it after he got the gift. Some horses can't do that. But, it was just, I was just dying laughing. Like, you got to be, I texted you immediately. I was like, can you believe that?
No, I couldn't. I mean, I could, but you're still just like, what the heck, man? Come on.
Well, it like you said, like, the antiquarian blows the turn and you're like, okay, well, that was stupid. And then he re-rallies and like, it's like, oh no, he was the best horse in the race.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And you're not getting the price on him next time, which is the frustrating part. Like after that performance, you're not getting 10-1 again on an Aquarian.
No, probably not. Yeah, very frustrating. And I knew in the morning when I woke up and I got on the computer and I saw Lush Lips had scratched, I knew it was going to be a bad day there.
One of those days.
That's always terrible when you're single scratches. But they are off in the 6th at Belmont at Saratoga. The heavy favorite is out in front right now. We'll keep you updated on that. All right, let's go to the Bugle and then let's get this thing going. Here we go. All right, guys, let's kick it off here with the, I guess, kind of late pick 5 at Saratoga. The race is 9 through 13. The one that will end in the Belmont as they're turning for home. The 6th race here on Thursday. And the big favorite has the lead, but the limes don't lie. The 4 ranging up here. We'll just see.
I need the 2.
Neither one of us are going to handicap this until we see who wins the race.
No. Come on, Table Flirt, get going.
Table Flirt is making a move, but I think the 8's got plenty in the tank there. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
Table Flirt, the 2 horse into second. Still got about
Slow
6
down,
to
8.
make up. That's the problem.
Slow down, 8.
The 8 is slowing. The 8 is slowing, but not going to be enough.
Not going to be enough. I mean, we had the 8, but I liked the 2 a lot more.
Oh, the 8 was a very logical horse, but like you usually do, you used one and then you used a horse with a little bit better price. And your long shot ran well. So.
Yeah, I mean, we had the super. It's like the 3rd super on the card I've had today. It's been ridiculous.
You've been, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's been ridiculous. Like the last 2 days in Saratoga have been insane.
Well, I was getting ready to brag on you. So he has been extremely hot. Cashed a pick 5 for over $6,000 on the Samba Bombs yesterday. Alive. I'm not going to cry too much for you that you had to get a 4 to 5 home there because you had a $60 winner in the sequence that you had. So you're doing just fine. All right, Samich, enough of that. Let's get to this one. And this is going to be, I think, a good race to get going here. Race 9 on the card. It's the Jaipur Stakes Grade 1 event going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Field of 10. All right, Mr. Samich, kick us off.
Give me a price to start us off here. You've got a 6 to 5 horse that I do respect quite a bit in this spot, and the 2 horse here, think big, but give me the 4, My Boy Prince on top, 10-1 on the morning line here. This is a horse that ran in the Triple Crown over in Canada at Woodbine last year, and ended up just missing. Ran second in the King's Plate there. I think this is a horse that actually might be better sprinting than going 2 turns. If you go back and you look at the 2 7-furlong efforts at Woodbine last year leading up to it, won both of those very easily. I really thought the debut was nice last time out. Broke from the 10 post at Aqueduct in the Belmont at the Big A, but at Aqueduct. Went 21 and change, 44-1 to the half mile, and was able to hold on rather easily in this spot, including running 11 or sub 12 second final furlong there. Speeds plays well over this turf course. There is speed to the outside in both AG or Silver Bullet and Coppola. But I think My Boy Prince doesn't need the lead. He can sit right behind those 2 if he isn't able to get the lead. If he gets the lead, he's that much more dangerous. The $60 horse I had earlier today went gate to wire, and it's her sprint. I think My Boy Prince is in a huge spot here. And now we're talking, and if you follow the show, one of my favorite angles, second off the layoff for a 4-year-old, the most logical improvement spot in the book. And if this horse improves off that last race, My Boy Prince should not be 10-1. My Boy Prince should be the second choice in this race. So give me the 4, My Boy Prince on top.
I think it's a great pick. I did not put the horse on top, did put the horse in second. So we're off to a very good start here at 10-1. I'm with you. My Boy Prince is a horse that makes a ton of sense. I thought was very good. Like you said, you laid it all out. I don't need to recap it any more than that. That race last time out was solid. I was a little skeptical going into that race because, like you had kind of laid out, this horse had been running in longer races, even a mile and a quarter there in the Queen's Plate. I guess it was the King's Plate now. But anyway, I really thought, I don't know about going just short, but looked like a beast. So, yeah, I like My Boy Prince. I used him as well. My top pick is going to be the number 9, Silver Bullet. You kind of mentioned him there. This is a horse last time out. And if you're backing journalism, like somebody on the show might later in the card, you do look at what Rispoli did to Silver Bullet and go, oh boy, I've seen that before, because a horrific ride. And then Bridal Sydney last time out, that was on Kentucky Oaks Day, I believe, and it was brutal. So he got him beat that, or got her beat, I should say, that day. But look, the race 3 back in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, if we get that kind of effort, I think Silver Bullet's winning this thing. She has races on the past performances that are just, hey, she's going to win if she runs them, in my opinion. So facing the boys again, that really hasn't been a problem. It wasn't a problem, I should say, 3 races back. It's usually not in turf sprints. That's usually kind of, it doesn't really matter. So top pick for me was the 9, Silver Bullet. Then, like I said, I did use the 4, My Boy Prince, as well.
Yeah, I have the 2 in second, Think Big, but I do have Silver Bullet in third there. This is a horse that cost me $100,000, I think it was, in a tournament because of the odds shift late when it went from 10-1 to 6-1 at Santa Anita.
Yeah.
So this horse and I, we have a long history together because of it. What was that? Yeah, that was January 22nd, 2023. Won't forget that one for a while. Anyway, the ride last time from Rispoli was ridiculous. The AG Bullet doesn't get the lead. Silver Bullet doesn't get the lead, whatever you want to call her. And then to try and thread the needle and to be able to re-rally afterward, it was just one of those absolutely head scratchers. Michael Olson, where are you getting Silver Bullet from? AG is the periodic table symbol for silver. That's how this horse was named. So it's supposed to be Silver Bullet, even though it's AG Bullet. Little science lesson for everybody out there. So yeah, I think you're going to get a better trip here from Silver Bullet, a horse that doesn't have to have the lead. Again, I think it's going to be interesting what Coppola does from the outside with Rispoli. Does that horse just send, or do we see a similar situation where that one doesn't go straight to the front? But I think Silver Bullet, another horse that can be forwardly placed and win. I also don't think Coppola clears Silver Bullet, which means that Silver Bullet gets the rail and probably should be able to then have the opportunity to be able to see what she's got in the stretch. I have no issue with the girl against the boys in turf sprints, so that's not a big issue for me. So 2-4-9 to kick it off, and then I'm going to go one more deep. I'm going to use Our Shot as well, the 3 horse here, 8-1 on the morning line. And Our Shot, just a horse that when you kind of go through the past performances, needs the speed set up to be able to win the race. So that is, in my mind, the big question mark for Our Shot. But has run well over this racetrack. 1 win, 2 seconds, and a third. Has run well at the 5.5 furlong distances. 3 wins and 3 seconds in 9 tries. And if you look back, a horse that kind of runs into the best efforts. So now we're getting third off the layoff here for the son of Cantharos. I think you could see that best effort here. And if we do see a pace develop between the 3 horses that we discussed, the 4, the 9, and the 10, it helps out the 3 quite a bit. So I'll go 2, 3, 4, 9 to get through here. Did you use anybody besides the 4 and 9, Aaron?
I used the 2, Think Big, and I'm with you there. I mean, this is a horse I just think you got to put on the tickets. All 4 races on the turf have been wins. At least with the time form situation for Think Big, never runs like this massive number, but always is just consistent. So Think Big on the ticket for me. One other one, I went 4 deep, 2, 4, 9, 10. You mentioned the 10. Will this horse just send? Yes, I think the horse will just send. You mentioned it at the start. Sometimes in these turf sprints, if you get to the lead, you are tough to pass at Saratoga. I'm giving Coppola one more chance. This horse is kind of running the Triple Crown circuit, except doesn't have to, but running in all the turf sprints on the big undercards of these races. So give me Coppola one more time. We've seen it. When this horse gets comfortable on the front end, he can take him gate to wire, and he can beat some pretty decent horses. Last 3 races, yeah, not the greatest. I will concede that, but I'm giving him one more try. I think over this turf course, I think he's got a shot. So 2, 4, 9, 10 for me.
I stared a long time at Coppola because if you go back through the history books of upsets at Saratoga, turf sprint speed is one of those ways to get to prices at Saratoga, and Coppola definitely fits that bill. My issue with Coppola, and this is something I didn't notice until today, Aaron, the last 4 wins all at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah.
Over the turf course. The last time this horse won over a turf course that wasn't Gulfstream Park was in a $100,000 allowance at Churchill Downs in September of 2023. We're going almost 2 years without winning a race at Gulfstream Park. And the other issue is, if you want to go like get ridiculous, the only turf wins this horse has had is at Churchill and Gulfstream. Never won at any other track, and has run at every track, has had opportunities to win in other places. And yet it's those 2 tracks that the best efforts get kind of come from. It has had 3 shots at Saratoga, did finish second once, but has been beaten by other horses in this race time and time again. And I could see a world where Coppola goes gate to wire. It's just really hard when it's like, it's at Gulfstream, it's at Churchill, it's nowhere else. And you've had 3 efforts over Saratoga. I'm worried Coppola is just a horse for a course type horse, and that Saratoga is one of the courses that he likes.
Yeah, it could very well be possible. I definitely am like, okay, this is the last one on the ticket, and I debated, should I put him on? I was like, you know what? I don't know. I just get this feeling that this horse is gonna scare some people. I really do. I think he might have a lead by a length or so. Like I said, at Saratoga, if you turn for home and you got a length or 2 lead, I think you're dangerous. So I put him on. I get it, though. I definitely get it if you don't want to. But, Gulfstream turf, Saratoga turf, pretty different, but speed is good on both those turf courses. So I'll take a shot. All right.
Yes, it is. All right. We got 3 $2,000 sweats in race number 7 at Saratoga, Aaron. 1, 2, 4, 5 wins.
Okay.
We're live to the pick 5 with the 1, 2, and 4.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry. We're live to the pick 4 with the 1, 2, and 4. We're live to the pick 5 with 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Okay.
So anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 on the pick 5s, and the pick 4s are 600, 800, and 1,000. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5 in Saratoga 7. It's another good day.
All right. 1, 2, 4, 5. We're 21 minutes to post, so we will certainly stop the show when that happens, and we'll watch that race together. So, and hey, just real quick, when we've been watching races together this year, they've turned out really well. So it could be a sign.
Been pretty good. Been pretty good here.
Been really good. We've been blessed to have a lot of fun content together watching races. All right, let's move on to race 10. It is the Pennine Ridge Stakes, a grade 3 event going a mile and 16, $300,000 the purse for this one. Field of 10. I love a horse in this race, but I'll let you go first. Who do you like?
Okay, I have Zulu Kingdom on top. I really want to beat Zulu Kingdom, so I'm going to try and beat Zulu Kingdom. You may not want to. Let's just be honest. Like, Zulu Kingdom's really good, and I assume that you really love Zulu Kingdom. So I'm actually going to do the right thing by you and just pitch it over to you, because you're much higher on this horse than I am. And not that I don't respect this horse. I just 6 to 5 just feels short to me. Anyway, talk about Zulu Kingdom, because he's your boy.
Well, yeah, it is. And listen, a lot of it comes back to a race when we were on the air together on VSiN when Zulu Kingdom won the American Turf and made me look good that day. I loved this horse as a 2-year-old. I thought the Pilgrim and the With Anticipation wins were great. I thought this horse had a chance to beat the European horses at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. He didn't do it, and I don't have an excuse for him that day. He got outran, and that's just that, right? I don't have any excuse. Came back to Tampa, had a really nice little prep going a mile. You go back and watch that race, just kind of galloped around there, wasn't fully cranked, and showed who he was in the American Turf last time out. A race that I just feel like was much tougher than the spot here. I just kind of feel like, well, I shouldn't say much tougher, but I think it was tougher, let's put it that way, than what he's facing here. And look, I think this is a horse that's just going to keep improving. I don't view him as just some kind of unbeatable monster yet. However, against this group, I just think he's way better. So yeah, number 1, Zulu Kingdom. That will be a single for me in this one.
So I do think he is better. I disagree with way better. And it's mainly because there's 2 horses in here that I like that are prices. And when I'm going to single in the Belmont, we'll get there in a second. But I'm going to try and take a little bit of a shot here with some prices. And so we'll start off with the number 2 AP Kid for Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez. This is the kind of horse that I like to play when it's a Hall of Fame trader, Hall of Fame rider. The rider rode this horse first time out. They lost to Gosker on the dirt. No shame in that. Comes back, goes 22 and change, 45 and change, and is able to still run very well. Stayed on the 6s essentially, around the 12s for the furlongs, depending on how you want to put it, for the last mile, or for the last 5 furlongs there. And so I thought it was very, very impressive what he was able to do late in that race, pulling away from the 3 post. Both horses won out of that start. And this is from March 22nd. And both horses are now entered in this race. So you have horses who won, broke their maiden next time out, and then went to Stakes Company following. I think that is a positive sign. I don't think this horse gets the lead, but doesn't Johnny V just get a dream trip here with the 2 horse? I mean, it feels like Mibaggio goes. You've got one other horse toward the outside. Golden Channel probably wants to be forwardly placed. I think it's Golden Channel. Let me double check before I say that. And what happens here is that you have, Golden Channel goes forward too.
Yep.
And you've got the 2 horse here, AP Kid, just sitting in the pocket, just saving ground every step of the way, and gets first run on these 2. Now, Zulu Kingdom probably sitting right behind him, probably gets a good trip as well. You're going to need to outkick him. I get all that. But at 10-1 with the trip that I project, and the fact that like you could have gone anywhere with AP Kid here. You didn't have to jump right into Stakes Company on Belmont undercard. You knew that someone like Zulu Kingdom was going to be waiting, yet Pletcher still decides to bring AP Kid back here. I think there's a ton of upside, and I think this is a very aggressive placement by a trainer who is very good at placing horses. So I'm willing to take a little bit of a shot with the 2 AP Kid. Did you consider this one at all?
Yeah, I think this horse is going to run well, and I think if you're going to try to beat Zulu Kingdom or play against them, this is the type I would use. I just feel like you got, at least my handicapping is, these horses that are established, I just don't see that they're going to beat him. He just looks better. But you get a horse like AP Kid who may be outclassed and get beat, and be like, wow, that wasn't very good. Or he may improve second on the turf. He may improve third race out. He may get that good trip. And so that's what you're kind of wanting. You're wanting a horse to improve up to Zulu Kingdom's level, and he's one that makes sense. So I don't hate that use at all.
So yeah, and yes, you're right. I know Zulu Kingdom is the best horse on paper. I'm trying to find horses at prices that can improve. AP Kid first for me. The other I'm going to go with is Noble Confessor, the other Todd Pletcher in this spot, the 9 horse who you were going through all of the Zulu Kingdom, hat tips as leading up to this point. One of those hat tips, I think, is the Pilgrim last year, where Noble Confessor ran a neck behind Zulu Kingdom and ran awesome over a yielding track. Why is yielding track relevant? We're supposed to get rain tomorrow and Saturday. This could be a softer turf course, and we know that the 9 horse Noble Confessor can handle that turf course. Came back in the maiden special weight level and ran second as a short price favorite. Was 3 wide on both of those turns. I wish the horse had won. Let's just be honest. But they also ran that race really fast. They came home very quickly, was hung wide every step of the way. I'm willing to make an excuse for that. Now you come back here second off the layoff, and Pletcher's like, F it. Why run in a maiden special weight? We can just run back in a grade 3 again. He clearly thinks this horse is loaded with talent. This horse is a maiden who has ridden in the Breeders' Cup and now will be in 2 graded stakes races. I think there are worse 12-1 shots than Noble Confessor here, and I think he's the other logical one to try and take down Zulu Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I had with him is, we have seen him 3 times on the turf. We didn't see improvement first out as a 3-year-old, and so that's why I was like, I don't know. Look, I thought he would dominate that maiden special weight, and he just, like you said, now he had excuses. Yeah, it wasn't a bad race, but man, you just kind of wish he got the job.
Should have won.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can make excuses for him, but if you're 3-5 and you've run against grade 2 and grade 1 company and haven't embarrassed yourself, you got to be at a maiden special weight field. You just have to. At Belmont at the Big A for sure. So
especially if you're going to jump up into graded stakes company, I get all of that. I get why we're getting the 12-1, but for me, it's like I'm trying to find ways around some of these favorites, and I look at this and I'm like, do I want to take a shot with States Right? Not really. Do I want to take a shot with Flying Mohawk? No, I don't. And so it's like, who can I take at prices here where if it isn't Zulu Kingdom and I'm able to get one of these home, how can I balloon up this pick 5, which could be chalky in other legs? And so I think that the 2 AP Kid and the 9 Noble Confessor are the 2 horses who have the best opportunity to balloon up the pick 5 here against Zulu Kingdom.
Yeah, I understand the strategy, especially with the 2 for sure. And like I said, you're just taking a shot with the 9 there. I get it. You got a single coming up later, so you can afford to play a little bit more here. It makes sense. I was going to ask you about Flying Mohawk, of course, coming out of the Kentucky Derby, a race he never should have been in. But look, his turf efforts are pretty good. The one race on synthetic was pretty good. It ended up Final Gambit's pretty decent horse. But you said you didn't have much interest in Flying Mohawk?
No, I'm interested to see what happens from a trip perspective. Like I felt like the Pilgrim was aided by him being on the front end and still had a lot of trouble with both Zulu Kingdom and Noble Confessor, who are both in this race. I didn't love the first out at Saratoga. Now we're back over that same turf course. This is clearly a better horse, but I couldn't quite get there. I also don't love the Fairgrounds turf course, so I don't give as much credit to Fairgrounds turf wins as I do necessarily other ones.
You're better off losing down there. They run better after losses down there.
It's crazy. You really do. And then like the Jeff Ruby Stakes, yeah, I thought Flying Gambit was good, but do we think that Flying Gambit is one of where would you have Flying Gambit in the Belmont? Fifth,
sixth, yeah,
fourth
or fifth, yeah.
It was that race was pace aided. Yep. Right? The Derby was pace aided, and Flying Mohawk, that race, the Jeff Ruby Stakes, was pace aided. You don't have that same pace in this race. You're not going to see them flying early and then a horse come absolutely screaming late, right? And so to me, it's just kind of against the style of horse, especially as the second choice that I want to be betting.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me as well. I that was kind of my thing when I was kind of like, okay, am I just because I do really like Zulu Kingdom. It's like, okay, no, you got to be careful. Yeah, he did well, but make sure you like him today, this race. And I just kept looking and I was like, if he can't beat Flying Mohawk, then he just didn't run very well. If he can't beat States' Rights, he just didn't run very well, So yeah, I wanted to ask you your thoughts on it. And that's kind of how I felt about it as well.
But if I was going to take one of the two, I'd take the 3 States' Rights. Not only because it's my girl Cherie DeVoe, and I'm getting made fun of in the chat because I didn't use Cherie DeVoe here, but because I can at least make a logical argument how States' Rights is going to improve to Zulu Kingdom's level. Right? Like, because it's second off the layoff for a 3-year-old Constitution horse. It's run well at Saratoga before. Like, you can make a case that this horse takes a step forward. I'm not sure that you can make a case that Flying Mohawk just automatically gets better off that Derby, right?
Yep, I agree with you on that. And I thought this was good. Kevin B says, if Mike's not using the 3, she's dead on the board. So talking about Cherie. So I thought that was a good one. Yeah. All right, Mike, let's go to what I think is the hardest race on the card, or at least the most confusing race on the card. I want to know your thoughts, though. The grade 1 Woody Stevens, race 11 here, going 7 furlongs. Field of 11 now. The 7 is going to scratch. Colloquial is out. So it's now a field of 10. I think it makes it maybe less complicated, but it's still a complicated race in my opinion. Who do you like here?
I might have had Colloquial on top had this horse been in.
I did. Yeah.
So it was a major scratch, and the horse came up. It was just, I think it was lame this morning. Is that or yesterday morning? Yep. I can't remember when I read it. Yep. But yeah, so Colloquial major scratch here. Boatloads of speed, and speed at 7 furlongs at Saratoga. It gets questionable fast. Like, they come back when you're going that fast at Saratoga, and there's a lot of speed signed in here. One thing we talk about, and I feel like we talk about this every year, the Derby fever, and it's real, right? You have horses who are very good one-turn horses who then decide to stretch out and don't do as well on 2 turns, and then for some reason you get a decent price on them when they get back to 1 turn when you think they might be the best horse. And I think that applies to the number 4 Patch Adams, who I put on top in this spot. If you look at the race at Keeneland, the first time out, I thought ran well, ended up running 3rd, comes back, runs a just monster race at Churchill Downs, going 7 furlongs. Tries two turns twice, one at Oakland Park, one at Tampa Bay, both in graded stakes, both in preps. Not great in either of those. Comes back at Churchill Downs at 6.5 furlongs and reminded us why we all liked this horse so much. And now you're running at 7 with a setup. I think Patch Adams is awfully dangerous in this spot. So I'll put him on top here at 5-1.
I did use Patch Adams. I do agree with a lot of what you said. I actually put the other Brad Cox horse on top. I put the number 8 Gunmetal on top in this spot. And when I say it was the hardest race for me to handicap, I probably spent way too much time even on. I mean, it was just like I just went around in circles on it. So, but look, Gunmetal for me, I think is very interesting. I thought he was very good on debut to break his maiden down at Fairgrounds, going 6 furlongs. Tried 7 furlongs at Gulfstream Park next in the Swale, and I really thought this horse would kind of run a huge race there. he was awful. There's no way around it. He was so bad. It was like, no, that's not the real him. Something had to have happened. It took a while to get him back, but he ran an allowance last time out, and he was super sharp at Keeneland, a dominant effort. So I'm hoping he shows up with that kind of effort in this one. Look, I think this horse can sit off, and he's drawn outside the other speed. I think we can sit second or third and not get into a speed duel if it materializes like we think it could. And I think that's another big advantage for him. I also gets Irad Ortiz. I thought that was kind of a good sign. Yes, he loses Flavian Pratt to a horse I think both of us are going to talk about in a minute. However, getting Irad is very good. So I ended up on Gunmetal. I think it's the right price. I think he's a horse on the improve.
Fourth pick for me. Going to use the horse in the race because I did go 4 deep here. I'm a little like, look, the swale was too bad to believe. Yeah. But it's still there staring me in the face that when he has to go that fast early, it can get real weird late. And lost a Gate to Wire, who's the 11 horse for Todd Pletcher here, back at a price that's appropriate at 12-1 after being shorted the last couple times out after that swale win. And I respect Brad Cox. I respect Gunmetal. Like, this is a horse I feel like you almost have to use if you're spreading out at all in here. So I'm using the horse. I don't love him. I'm a little concerned to what we get, but I am going to use him here because of what I believe is the setup. And I do think if he handles the fast pace, and it's going to be quick early, he is able to run on. And a lot of times you do see either the deep closer or the one speed that holds. And It feels like he could be that speed who is sitting there in third or fourth, close to the pace, and he's able to get in front of the leaders, and then no one catches him, right? So I did use the 8 Gunmetal. I have the 1 Big Truz in second at 10-1. And I know you liked this horse last time out against Patch Adams. I know that you liked this horse when he scratched last time that he was going to be in a race as well. I thought that Patch Adams race was that good that I had to put Big Truz in second in this spot. It was the first time facing non-maiden company. Fact, a horse that Big Truz beat by 4 first out, came back and looked awesome on return. That's a horse I know you loved. He was 3-5, I believe it was, at Churchill, and absolutely aired that field.
Yep.
Just kind of reiterated how good Big Truz is in this spot. This is a horse that's clearly getting better. It's a $300,000 3-year-old son of Justify with Curlin on the bottom side, really well bred, has tactical speed, but does not need the lead, which could be perfect for this race. I think there's a lot of things to like for Big Truz, who is sitting on the board at 10-1. So I have the 1 Big Truz in second.
Yeah, I'm going to be really mad if Big Truz wins. I guess I'll be happy for you, but mad at myself. I didn't use this horse. I just feel like it might be a little too much too soon. You know, this is such a tough race, so I didn't use him here in this one. But I thought he was going to win that second race against Patch Adams. Like, he turned the corner like he was going to do it, and then Patch Adams kind of galloped away, which is why I'm using Patch Adams here, and I'm sure why. Well, big reason why you as well is because, like you said, when they cut Patch Adams back, boy, did he kind of look like he looked before they stretched him out, which was good. So yeah, no, I respect Big Truz, but I kind of went into the logic of, okay, if that race was as good as I think, I've got the winner. I've got the clear winner. I'll just use him and I'll leave Big Truz out. And I hope that doesn't come back to bite me because I'm with you. I do think he's improving.
Now what's your weight handicap? I don't know if we talked about this. Do you care about weight?
I care I care a minimal amount about weight.
Okay. All right.
But if it's 5 pounds, 4 pounds, that's when I think it makes a difference.
Yeah. And it was, so in that allowance, both Patch Adams and Big Truz were carrying Patch Adams was carrying 118. Big Truz was 122. They're both carrying 118 today. So there's a 4-pound weight shift. And my dad told me this was the way I learned weight. Each pound equates to 1 length if you're going 1.25 miles. Right. So 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs, the weight is not as drastic, but 4 pounds matters. Like, it's not an irrelevant number. And so a horse that's lightly erased, that doesn't have the foundation that Patch Adams does, carrying more weight in the second career start, like, I'm willing to make excuses for the 1 Big Truz in that spot, especially with how well he ran. I should say that. It's not even making excuses. It's just saying I think there's more that he could give third out in his career when dropping weight as well.
Yeah. I get it. I'm going to be pretty upset if he wins because it does feel like this horse is getting better and I've liked him. So anyway, all right. Let's see. Last one for me. No, I've got two I got to talk about. The 10. We'll talk about the 10 first. I think we both are using the 10. Chancer McPatrick is a horse I did not think I would like before I handicapped this race. I thought, oh, that's funny. This race, if he doesn't win it, I don't know what to say. I mean, if he doesn't at least get up there with a big shot to win it, it sets up perfect for him. There's all kinds of speed. He's getting back to the track he loves. He's getting back to distance he likes. He's one of the only, well, he's not one of the only, but he's one of 3 or 4 closers that's in the race. He looks like the best closer in the race to me. I think everything sets up to where he's got a huge shot.
Yeah, the only knock on him is he's a high weight at 124, but like really that's it. Like the pace, like you said, is perfect. He's 2 for 2 over this track. This just like mirrors the hopeful that he won almost 7 furlongs.
It does.
With like a ton of speed in front of him where he's clearly going to be rolling late. He gets to draw to the outside, which is 7 furlongs at Saratoga for a closer is kind of a nice post because you get to choose if you want to go rail, if you want to go wide, what you want to do with it. You get Pratt aboard for Brown. Like I don't like it's 8-5. I don't think there's any way anyone is 8-5 in this race. No. I think the favorite goes off at 7-2. And I think maybe it's Chancer McPatrick. I think Citizen Bull's taking money. I think I think it's going to be hard to get a clear-cut favorite in this spot. I think 7-2 probably your favoritism. It's probably between Chancer McPatrick and Citizen Bull in my mind. Maybe Patch Adams. Maybe he gets bet that much off that last race as well.
Yeah.
But I couldn't not use Chancer McPatrick. I have him in third. But it was so hard for me to leave him off a ticket when you have this type of pace set up over a track he loves with Pratt aboard. And again, this mirrors the hopeful that he won just to a T.
Yeah. And I think it's a great sign. I know Pratt is riding a lot for Brown, and that has a lot to do with it. But Pratt was on Gunmetal. Pratt's been on Patch Adams. He chose Chancer McPatrick. So I thought that was a really good sign as well, that he still believes in him quite a bit. All right. Have you covered all of yours? Do you have all of yours?
I have, yes. Pratt also rode gate to wire last time, by the way. So there was lots of options for Pratt.
Yeah, and I thought Gate to Wire would win last time, and he didn't. Now, one more for me, the horse that beat Gate to Wire and all the other ones last time out, Macho Music. I'm very interested in this horse, Mike. I'm telling you, that race last time out was solid. The race 3 back was really good. I know he lost, but that was a fast time. Macho Music, I would look out for this horse on the front end.
I just don't see anyone winning Gate to Wire. It was that simple for me. And honestly, I didn't see anyone winning the Pet Day Mile Gate to Wire, so what the hell do I know? Maybe someone could pull it off. And if there's water in the track, I think it is a benefit for Macho Music. We have seen horses go Gate to Wire of the Saratoga track when it's muddy specifically. So, yeah, I mean, maybe Macho Music does it. Last time was the time to have him. For me, it's the price that again, like this is. I'm not going to say it's wedding funeral because at least he's 8-1 on the morning line. But when he was 14-1 last time was the time to have him.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. And look, I'm 100% with you. I handicapped the Pat Day Mile to have a lot of speed, hence why I used Gate to Wire. And he just dominated. So, I'm with. Look, I think if anybody's going to take him Gate to Wire, it's this one. I don't like Matticat Road. I don't like Citizen Bull. So I think this is the one. The 3 and the 8 are the ones that are going to out there and actually have a serious chance to hold on. Did you like, before we go on to the next one, did you like it, either one of the Bafferts at all?
So I thought I was going to pick Matticat Road in this race. I really did. Mm-hmm. I have a soft spot for Matticat Road. I was closer to taking him than Citizen Bull. I have no interest in Citizen Bull at 5-1. Matticat Road at 10-1. You could talk me into.
Yeah. I like Matticat Road better than Citizen Bull as well. Yeah, so we're with you there. I just didn't. At the end of the day, Matticat Road's had chances and just hadn't been able to do it. And
I look back at the maiden special weight win, which I realize maiden special weight win, whatever, right? But that's the race he needs to run. He needs to run off the pace and then be able to close in. And this is the first time he's not going a mile since then. It's the first time I think he's going to have the opportunity to be able to do that. And last time out in the Pat Day Mile, where I picked him. Stupid horse ran second to Macho Music. He was basically attending 22:44 pace. He can't do that. He needs to be 4 or 5 lengths off that lead and then kick for home to be able to win this race. I just don't know if he's going to switch his style up in this spot. If I knew for sure he probably makes the ticket over the 8, but I don't know if he is for sure going to switch the style up.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce race 12, then we're going to watch race 7 here at Saratoga. So we'll go on to race 12 right now, and it is going to be a good one. The Manhattan Stakes going a mile and 3/16 on the turf, $1 million the purse, of course, a grade 1 race. It'll be a field of 9. And as I say that, I'm not going to say who do you like, Samich, because we're going to watch race 7 together and see if Samo Bombs gets this thing home. So let's do that now. They're getting ready to load here, Mike.
Yep, 1, 2, 4, 5, anywhere from like $2,000 to $3,000, depending on if I can get home. And we also 1, 2, 4 to keep rolling in the late pick 5 as well.
Okay.
So hopefully we can keep it churning here. It's all because of a $60 winner. It's been pretty chalky inside this sequence outside of that $60 winner, but when you can find one horse like that, it balloons it up and gives the opportunity for the massive score.
Absolutely, it does. I think the 1 and the 2 are the ones that are really live here. So
I would be betting the 4 to win on this board.
The 4, Dance Kumar. That horse has ran well in the past up here.
Yes, like Saratoga. The 1 and 2 are switching post positions. They were flip-flopped last time when they faced each other from who was inside, who was outside. They're both very fast early. I think Dance Macabre's the one who gets the trips and able to run them down when they tire here. The 5 was the other closer I was interested in. That's why I had that. But I was if at these prices, I would bet the 4 at 7-2 over the 1 or the 2 at their price.
All right, let's see if we get it home. They're all in the gate here, getting ready to go off. 5.5 furlongs here in the Intercontinental Stakes. Gosh, I wish I was up there. I always watch Saratoga when I'm at home and go, why am I at home?
I'm texting with my dad, and who had the pick 5 yesterday, so he's just like blowing me up, right? Because he played the Samo Bombs, and he was just like, he's over the moon to be up at Saratoga. And the 1 doesn't break well.
No, did not
and
break
the
well.
6 is going to make the lead. Yeah, this isn't wonderful.
No, I don't like this early. The 2's in a good spot though. You had the 5. Ooh, the 5 checked just a bit.
Yeah,
there.
the 2 just had to check too, and the Dance Macabre's in last. I mean, that's about as bad of a opening quarter of a mile as I could have asked for. They are flying though, 21 and 3 to the first quarter there.
2's in a real good spot. If 2's got run, we're okay here.
Yeah, the
Your
1
is
the world of hurt. Yeah. And probably not going to come back from there. Dance Macabre's starting to wind up now, but he needs
Paco
a spot.
needs to find room for the 2.
Yeah, well, he's got the rail now.
Yeah, he's got it.
And the 4 just got a brutal trip around the turn.
Your hope is the 2. Come on.
Yeah, come on, 2. Get your nose down.
Get through there. Here comes the 1 finally. Oh, the 2 just got intimidated, I think. Yep.
Yeah, the 2 took a bad step because of that.
Dipsy got it.
That sucks.
Edit that out.
The first furlong, man, you just kind of know in some of these races, and that especially in the turf sprints, when that happens, and you're like, well, the 1 and the 2 are supposed to be on the lead. Neither of them make it. You're just like, well, shit. This just completely changes how I'm going to play this damn thing. And frustrating part of horse racing.
We were just kidding. There was nothing going on.
No.
All right, let's get to it. Just kidding. All right, let's get to it. Let's go on to what did I say this was? Race number 12. All right, I already introduced this thing. Field of 9 here. All right, who do you got?
Well, I watched the replay.
You're not gonna let this one go.
No, I'm pissed, man. I've been on fire at Saratoga. It sucks when you get one wrong like that.
Oh, it does. It does.
All right.
I know. But I wasn't going to listen, Christopher. I wasn't going to bring that up, but it was. But look, I'm a good friend. Okay, so that's a good pick by me, though.
All
anyway,
right,
go ahead.
Yeah, good pick by you, man. Good pick by you there.
yeah. You're like fuck you. Okay,
you got lucky as hell with the start setup of the race, but good pick by you. Okay, what race are we talking about here? 12th race.
12, the Manhattan.
All right, I give up on trying to beat Spirit of St. Louis on top. So I'll take Spirit. No, I'm sorry. I will not take Spirit of St. Louis on top. I will not give up on the 6th horse. Look at that. Look at that turn, baby. Give me number 5 here. Deterministic on top. Kendrick Carmouche and Miguel Clement. R.I.P. Christophe Clement. That was unfortunate news of passing of cancer. It was awesome to see Miguel Clement win the closing race at Saratoga. First day back up there at the spa, place that the Clement family obviously cares and loves about quite a bit. So let's see if he can add a graded stakes victory to the resume here this weekend. Give me Deterministic on top, 9-2. This is a speed play for me in a lot of ways. I don't see a ton of pace in this race. I realize that the 8 horse has been up front last couple times. We'll see if Jose sends. I wouldn't be shocked if he does. But it looks like Deterministic just sits in a beautiful spot. And if you're worried about speed, just go back 2 races to Aqueduct, going a mile and an eighth, where this horse won the Hill Prince while sitting off of the lead. Horse like Saratoga ran very well over this course, ran a good third to Carson's Run, when kind of got a really weird trip in a 6-horse field. If you go back and watch that Saratoga Derby, somehow Rosario put this horse 7 wide in a 6-horse field. I don't even know how you pull that off, but Joel, he's got some skills. So I think this is one where you're going to see Deterministic just get a much better trip than what he has gotten in the past in some of these graded stakes. Won the Fort Marcy last time going gate to wire over Carson's Run. I think drew very well in this spot to be able to get a similar trip and be on the front end. And if you're going to beat Spirit of St. Louis, feels like you need to be on the front end or at least close to it. You get the jump on him and he doesn't run you down.
Well, you almost saw my side of things finally with Spirit of St. Louis, but you didn't do it. It was the ultimate swerve. Ultimate swerve. Jeez.
Yeah,
Look,
well, you know, what can I say? Got to have a little
he's
fun.
my boy. I'm going number 6, Spirit of St. Louis on top here. I'm going to go 4 deep this time. I do think this feels like a little bit of a tougher spot because, you know, Miguel Clement has some really good horses in here. And he's doing well. He's had a couple of wins. Very happy for him in what has to be just a devastatingly sad situation. But no, anyway, number 6, Spirit of St. Louis for me on top. I loved his race in the Pegasus World Cup Turf, and I super loved his race last time out in the Old Forster Bourbon Turf Classic. So give me the Spirit of St. Louis on top. Next up for me, speaking of Clement, I did use the number 9 Far Bridge. This is a horse that I never fully bought into until the last 5 races. Just been really, really good. 4 out of 5 wins. He only lost to come in the Breeders' Cup Turf. So whatever. You're not going to beat Rebels Romance. That's just how that goes. But running really well here at Saratoga as well. That started that winning streak. Well, 4 out of 5 at least in the Sword Dancer, which is going to be pretty similar to how this one is. So give me the number 9 Far Bridge as well. Those are the first 2 I used.
I didn't use Far Bridge because of the distance. Am I crazy? I think it's too short.
Well, he did win at 1 mile and 3/8 last time out, but that was against much weaker.
Yeah.
I would like it better if it was a mile.
You lost the program. You go through all these races. It's like, okay, the 1 mile and an 1/8 race, not great. 1 mile and 16th race, yes, he won, but that was against optional claiming with 70 cents on the dollar, so should win that race. Saratoga Derby, 1 mile and 3/16, ended up running 3rd. Didn't quite have enough room to be able to chase down the leaders. And then you got Rosario on. When you combine the 2 things, where I'm like, I don't think this is the ideal distance, and you've got the jockey that I don't want. Like at 3 to 1, I couldn't do it. So Spirit of St. Louis second for me. For obvious reasons. The horse is awesome. Like he's clearly proven that he can handle non-state bred company. So I do like Spirit of St. Louis in this spot. But I'm going to take a big bomb as my 3rd horse here.
Okay.
Give me the number 7 Tuscan at 20 to 1 as the other horse that I'm going to use. This horse I thought ran really well over Gulfstream Park's synthetic course. It's ran a 98 buyer, which is huge for second start. This horse didn't debut until late in the 3-year-old season, but sold for $1.3 million. It's a son of Constitution, and the mom is Cozy Up Lady. If you don't know who Cozy Up Lady's sire Cozine is, have yourself a good time and check out YouTube for Cozine races. He was one of the best turf horses I've ever seen in my life. And he is the dam sire here for the number 7 Tuscan. So this is a horse that is phenomenally bred to be able to run on turf and be able to go long. I really liked that win again. The 3 back at Gulfstream, breaking the maiden, comes back, wins off of that, tries turf for the first time. Guess what? The horse wins off of that. Didn't really get asked, went 3 wide on that race. Has won at 1 mile and 70 yards, 1 mile and an 1/8, 1.5 miles. So I'm not concerned about this being too short or too long for Tuscan. And Irad Ortiz shows up at 20 to 1 on a Todd Pletcher horse that cost $1.3 million. Never been Tucson. Oh, it's Tucson. Sorry. Yeah, it's Tucson, not Tuscan. So anyway, for all of that, I will take the 7 horse Tucson.
Oh, I love you. All right, I looked at this one for a while. I really love the 3 races this horse has had. So I'm with you. I think I didn't use him, but I would not be shocked if he puts a lot of scare into people at a big price, and he can get out there in front, like you said, and that's going to be dangerous. I'm with you on that. Okay, I used the number 3 Highway Robber as third horse on the ticket. I think this is an interesting horse since he's been gelded. He's kind of just turned into a beast. And, just first, seconds, or thirds in every single race. You look last time out in the Bourbon Turf Classic, got third to my boy, Spirit of St. Louis, only got beat a length. And, oh, by the way, Mercante, the horse that finished second, he looked damn good last week at Churchill Downs. So that was kind of the thing that put me over the top. Highway Robber, he's going to be for me. And listen, I do think mile 3/16 will be just fine for him. He's won at a mile and a half. He's won at a mile and a quarter. I think Highway Robber is going to be tough. He was my third horse on.
I looked at Highway Robber for a long time. It was another one where I wish the price was a little bit higher than 6-1. Mercante did look awesome last time, so you can't knock that race at all. He was very good prior to going over to Maidan. Didn't run well there, but whatever. I'm not going to knock him for that. 1 for 1 of the distance. No concerns at that spot. So yeah, I don't. The price was the only issue for me, and it just having to come from way back in the pack. It's essentially the same style as Spirit of St. Louis. And so it's the question of, can you beat Spirit of St. Louis at his game? And I'm not sure Highway Robber can. That's why I left him off.
Yeah, I will see what happens there. Hopefully, that he can kind of work out a little bit of a trip. Maybe Spirit of St. Louis doesn't run quite as well, and he gets the job done. I only went 3 deep. I accidentally put in another horse. It's not 4 deep. It's 3 deep. 369. That's what I went. Is there anybody else for you?
No, I was. Yeah, no, I was just 5, 6, 7 here. I almost used the 2 integration. That was the other one that I considered.
That's the typo that I made, and I don't know why I did that, because no, I'm not using him.
I don't think he could beat Spirit of St. Louis.
No.
Right? Sometimes, it's funny. I remember talking to my uncle, having a conversation around pick 5s, and sometimes the best way to throw horses out is if another horse covers it, right? And it's kind of the same reason why I'm not using Highway Robber, where I think Highway Robber and Spirit of St. Louis essentially the same style, and Spirit of St. Louis is just better at that style than Highway Robber is. I think integration's good. If I was playing superfectas, I would use integration.
Oh yeah.
I just don't think integration could beat Spirit of St. Louis, so why would I use them both?
Yep. And look, that's why I didn't use Big Truz, but when I used Patch Adams earlier, because what you said, I just hope that it covers, right? And I think the same way. But the difference is with this one, I'm still kind of worried about Big Truz because of the improvement factor. With integration, you just feel like we know who this is.
Yeah, I am worried about what Ed said though. Pratt's back aboard, and I don't mind Dettori as much as other people do, but it's pretty hard to argue that going from Dettori to Pratt isn't an upgrade. And the only time Pratt has ridden this horse was one of those wins.
I mean, he beat Limited Liability that day. So
I know another horse that we mock for not being able to win. So
exactly. So I don't know. Look, he can beat me. Look, people have played this horse until they're blue in the face, and I've never really bought in. So if he beats me here, it'll be the first time. So there we go.
There you go. This is our winner's circle horse.
This could be the winner's circle horse. Yeah, exactly. It could be. All right, one more to go. Let's get to it. That's Jared commenting. He's waiting. 8 minutes till blinkers off. So let's see if we can get there, Samich. All right. It is the Belmont Stakes coming up here. Race 13 on the card. It is a $2 million race. Going a mile and a quarter. Make sure. Mile and a quarter. You know that. All right. Field of 8. Samich is going to single. Who you got?
Yep. Single me up to number 6, Baeza. I'm going to try and beat both Journalism and Sovereignty. I picked Sovereignty in the Derby. I picked Journalism in the Preakness. Why not pick the 3rd place finisher from the Derby back? Now, honestly, go back and watch the Derby. Baeza and Sovereignty were essentially shoulder to shoulder with a horse in between them. Sovereignty got a clean trip on the outside. Baeza got a not brutal trip, but had to change pass and then had to check, wait to get out, and then got out and then came flying late. Probably should have caught Journalism for second. Probably beat Sovereignty if both of them get clean trips from that point on the far turn home. Galloped out way better than Sovereignty did. Journalism now, I think he is in a vacuum, Journalism is the best horse in my mind. But that vacuum is non-existent because Journalism is now running his 3rd race in 5 weeks, all of them at classic distances after playing bumper cars in the Preakness and having to run close to a pace in the Derby that I don't think was necessarily the best situation for him. I think that this, like, Baeza is, to me, is the third fastest horse in this race. So your speed is Rodriguez, your speed is Crudo. They both go. What do Baffert horses do when they're inside speed? They come out. That means Uncaged is 100% getting pinched here. If he gets pinched back, Baeza is the next one in line to be able to go and sit on the rail. If Baeza gets the trip where he is in third place on the rail on both turns and gets first run on Rodriguez and Crudo, and then Journalism and Sovereignty have to catch him, I don't think it happens. And I keep thinking back to the Florida Derby, Aaron, where Sovereignty couldn't catch Tappan Street when Tappan Street got that trip. Isn't that Baeza's trip? I just, to me, and then on top of it, I'm getting 4-1 instead of taking a 2-1 shot or 8-5 shot. I single up Baeza here for me to close it out.
I think you're getting like 5-2. So many people like this horse. I don't know. And I could be dead wrong, but my goodness, everybody I talk to loves Baeza. I think you know what? I think that you have had your mind made up on this horse for about 3 weeks because we've done shows together and you've made that case that you just made. And then guess what? The past performances came out and I said, he's absolutely right. I mean, this looks exactly like what could happen. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to sit a great trip. And I think he's going to be very tough. I used the 6 Baeza as well. I think you absolutely have to use him. He's so dangerous. Flavian Proud aboard. And you're right. You go back and watch the Derby. He almost got there. You go back and watch San Diego Derby. He almost beat Journalism there. But there's where the problem lies for me. I'm going to go number 7, Journalism on top, because Baeza probably should have beat him in the San Diego Derby. He had his chance, and he couldn't do it that day. Probably should have caught him in the Kentucky Derby. I don't think Journalism ran very well. He couldn't catch him that day. I think.
You don't think Journalism ran very well in the Kentucky Derby?
I don't.
What?
I don't.
What?
I don't. You would have won. If you lose, you didn't run well.
Save the crack pipe for blinkers off, okay? Just
I think if this horse shows up ready to rock, I think he's going to beat him. I really like Journalism in this spot once again. I think he's a touch better than Baeza. The big question mark for me is how much will Baeza improve? He's a late foal. He's improving with each race anyway. Just a little bit of improvement, and he's right there. I will concede that, because how could you not if you watch the races? That's why I think the 6 and the 7 are the 2 really strong uses in this race.
Yeah, I don't even have Sovereignty in my top 3.
So who do you have third then?
Rodriguez.
So you went 6, 7, 3. You did have Journalism second.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I have 6, 7, 3. I'm going to play 6, 7 Cold Exacta.
Okay.
Tries, I'm going to play 6 over 7, 3. Super, I'm going to play 6 with 7, with 3, with 2 Cold, and then play some with a little bit more with 3 in second and third as well. I think Rodriguez has a chance to hang on, and I don't know what we're going to get from Sovereignty. I just keep thinking back to the Florida Derby, and again, like I'm allowed to I pick Sovereignty in the Derby, and now I'm not. Hopefully that tells you I get Sovereignty is very good. I just don't think this race sets up the way for him like the Kentucky Derby did, and I think that it's going to be more difficult for him to be able to get to the top.
Well, I'll give you credit. 20 minutes after they crossed the wire, after you cashed, not only winning with him, but you cashed that super and you're over the moon, you sat there and said, look, it was a great race, but they're not all going to set up like this for this horse. I don't think he can win the Triple Crown. Of course, they didn't try it, and we're not going to get into that. But still, you weren't saying, hey, this guy's automatic. You're saying the setup was perfect for him. That's how you handicapped it, and it came through. So I got to ask you, I think they go fast, but I don't think they go overly fast here. That's my opinion on what's going to happen up front. What about you?
I agree. I think they go honest, right? Call it 23.5 seconds, 47.8 to the half, like somewhere in that range, which is honest fractions for this level. And then we see what happens coming home for home. But I don't think you're going to see 22 and change, low 23s. I don't think you're going to see a high 45, a low 46. I think you're going to see 23-47. And if that's the case, then I think it makes it very difficult for a horse like Sovereignty to win.
Okay, here's the last slot for me. If we get the weather, Sovereignty, I have Sovereignty on the ticket right now because of the weather. Very good chance I will take him off. If not, here's why. It could have been the pace for sure. It could have been the sloppy track. And I like Sovereignty. I used him. I'm not trying to downgrade him or anything. He ran huge over that sloppy track. If it's sloppy up there, you've got to look at that. And that does mean something, because the biggest race of his life came over a sloppy track because of the weather. I put the 2 on the ticket for now. You could always take him off if it's a fast track, or you keep watching the races and speed's holding. Okay, you can take him off, but I put him on for now, because if we get that rain, I do not want to be live and it's sloppy and this horse beats me.
If it rains, I would add Journalism. I wouldn't add Sovereignty. I thought Journalism's. This is, I guess, where we also disagree. I thought Journalism's Kentucky Derby was awesome. I thought it was a very, very good race, because he was the horse that was close to the pace and was able to hang on and fight on and make the lead around the top of this turn. Baeza is the one where you should be worried if it rains, I guess, because. But I'm going to say this with a grain of salt.
I don't think all three of them are really worrisome, though.
Well, but if you some people love Tomlinson ratings, some people hate them.
Yeah,
Baeza's Tomlinson rating on a wet track is 255. That is bad. In conjunction with Journalism's is 426, and Sovereignty is 424. 2 of the best you will ever see, right? Like, but even that being said, like, we saw Baeza do it in the mud at the Derby, where I thought he ran a really good race. So I don't have any question mark about any of these horses running in the mud. So to me, it is, it's impressively bad, but he ran really well in the mud in Kentucky. So I will take the effort in the mud over taking the Tomlinson rating at that point. And so I would still take Baeza in the mud, but to me, Journalism is the one I want. I just don't think this sets up well for Sovereignty. And you want me to say something controversial?
Sure.
I think that his Fountain of Youth was more impressive than his Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, it may have been. I think, because to me, that was the best race he's ever run, because it was off the bench on a short stretch, and he had to chase down a horse that I thought was decent. Like, the Derby, he tripped out. He tripped out, and he didn't get stopped. It matters. All right. Well, look, I'm with you. Like, hey, listen, you may like the 6 over the 7. I may like the 7 over the 6. I'm smiling if either one of them win, because I'm going to have Baeza in a lot of different places because of everything you laid out. I don't disagree there at all. All right. Let's read them off, Samich. We got to get going. Let's read them off here. I'll put the banner up. You can go first.
All right. For me, 50-cent ticket here, going to cost you $72. Give me 2, 3, 4, 9 with 1, 2, 9 with 1, 4, 8, 10 with 5, 6, 7 with 6. Again, 50 cents. That's $72.
All right. I'm going to go 2, 4, 9, 10 with 1 with 3, 4, 8, 10 with 3, 6, 9 with 2, 6, 7. $72 for me as well. And like I said, if it's a dry track and you want to chop off that 2 in the last for a cheaper ticket, I wouldn't mind that at all. So, all right. Let's say 1 minute. You got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I mean, Kevin sums it up well. I didn't think Mike would have the Wood Memorial winner ahead of the Derby winner from the Florida circuit.
Oh,
that is a good point. That is an excellent point. That makes me a little more concerned about my picks. But no, we are. Baeza winning the Belmont. The handicapping Triple Crown will be mine.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to see what happens. Journalism for me, wouldn't be shocked with Baeza. You wouldn't be shocked if Journalism won this thing, though.
No, I think it's a 2-horse race. I think it's Journalism and Baeza. If I'm playing exactas, it's those two. And it's just deciding how to size it.
All right, there you go. I like it. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here for now because Blinkers Off coming up right now. As soon as I hit end, I'm going to get off this one, go to another one. It's going to be great. So Blinkers Off coming up soon, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching this show. Everybody have a great, great week. If you're not watching Blinkers Off, I'll see you next week. So everybody have a great week, and we will see you. I don't know. We may take a vacation week next week. It's possible, you and I.
Who knows?
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
We'll see what happens. All right, guys. We'll see you next week, possibly.
The Magic Mike Show, where you hear the experts speak. The Magic Mike Show. Tune into the show every week. The Magic Mike Show. You can trust the show is the bomb because it's being brought to you by RacingDudes.com.